In his first day back in office, President Donald Trump wasted no time in issuing a blanket pardon on nearly all of the January 6th defendants, basically sending the message, hey, if you do an insurrection, I mean, for me, you will be rewarded. Now, none of this should be a surprise. He was promising to do this for like a year. Anybody who thought, oh, he'd never actually do it. Well, you got egg on your face now, apparently. Nobody should be shocked that Trump is doing all the terrible stuff that he promised to do and doing it right off the bat. And not only did he blanket pardon the non-violent offenders, but also commuted the sentences of many of the violent offenders. You know, the ones who had assaulted police officers and journalists. Okay. And one of the bigger ones, Enrique Tarrio, who was sentenced to prison for seditious conspiracy. He's out now. Okay. His mother celebrated. Oh, and another person celebrating, Jacob Chansley, also known as the QAnon shaman. He's out there on Twitter celebrating and announcing that the first thing he's going to do is going to buy a bunch of guns. So there it is. I mean, the insurrection is complete. It worked. Trump's back in power. The rioters are free. The country has become more dangerous. In fact, one of the family members of the now released rioters, Jackson Reffitt, son of Guy Reffitt, who was sentenced to 87 months in prison for his involvement on January 6th, was speaking to CNN anchor Aaron Burnett about just how much danger he is now in.
Well, I'm honestly flabbergasted that we've gotten to this point. I mean, I'm terrified. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've taken as many precautions as I could recently. I've picked up a gun. I've moved, and I've gotten myself away from what I thought would be a dangerous situation and staying where I thought my dad could find me, or other people, you know, people that are going to feel so validated by these actions, by this pardon. And my dad is still involved with these militias. He still talks with, you know, a martyr status. He has no change. He's more galvanized than ever that I've seen. My mom too. My sisters are waiting outside the jail cell right now, and you know, I feel for them, and I know who they are, and I love them, but I can't feel safe. You know, my dad once called me a traitor, and you know, he said traitors get shot. Of course, I love him. I love him. I just cannot feel safe around him. Cannot feel safe around people he knows. I cannot feel safe around the people my mother knows.
Watching that interview, heartbreaking. Absolutely. Especially knowing that it was Donald Trump's lies about the 2020 election that not only broke up families, right? But now, through his actions, we see that all of that was for nothing. All of that pain, all that heartache, for nothing. No accountability anymore. None. The last 4 years have been undone completely. And so that's the reality that we are facing now. Okay. And by the way, there's more reactions here. Stephen Hayes writes, an utter disgrace, a sad and shameful moment for our country. Chris Murphy writes, an endorsement of political violence, a guarantee that it will return, an unconscionable act. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. When you don't have any, repercussions for your actions, and actually you get a pardon, you are saying, this is okay, actually. Do more violence in my name, please. Okay, that's what they're saying. Jade Nordlinger writes, for 3 or 4 days, Republicans, by and large, were ashamed of January 6th. In short order, the rioters were patriots, political prisoners. After October 7th, 2023, Trump started calling them hostages. Today, he has set them loose, a dark, tragic day for America. I remember right in the aftermath of January 6th, you had so many people, Marco Rubio included, saying, oh, what a terrible thing that happened. Trump should be condemned and all that stuff. Now Marco Rubio is, he's in the Trump administration. So, and refuses to talk about his prior statements on January 6th. That's how craven these people are. That's how craven the Republican Party is. They have basically abdicated all responsibility. Okay, they've abdicated any like respect for rule of law. Okay, they don't care about it at all. Now it is all about their own political power. It is disgusting. Representative Jason Crow says President Trump's pardon of January 6th insurrectionists disrespects the police who fought and died to protect the Capitol. There were some police deaths, mainly from suicides afterwards. The rioters brutally beat police officers, threatened the lives of the nation's leaders, and attempted to overturn an election. They deserve prison, not a pardon. Funny enough, these people are calling themselves or claiming to back the blue. Really? You sure about that? Because doesn't look like it from here. Like, sure, when they're busting the heads of minorities, then you're all about backing the blue. But, you know, when it comes to the Capitol, when it comes to basically throwing a fit to get because you didn't get your way on January 6th, I mean, suddenly you can do whatever you want. Back the blue? No. Not at all. No, not going to happen. Matthew Gertz writes, hundreds of people convicted of assaulting police officers have been storming the U.S. Capitol, getting full pardons because Trump wanted them to succeed and appreciated the effort. Shame of the nation. Yeah, he did want them to succeed, and guess what? They did. Once again, coup is complete. I mean, you had the Justice Department under Biden dragging their feet as much as possible. Merrick Garland, absolute utter failure. Complete capitulation. Okay? Not going after Trump on day one. And now, well, we as a country, we as a nation, get to pay for that mistake. Okay? So one of the reasons that I said Biden is not, he's not the guy. And I was saying it before, obviously during the primary, you know, before January 6th, I was saying Biden is not strong enough to compete against Donald Trump, to undo what has been done in our country from Donald Trump, to actually fix this nation to where, you know, Trump would not win an election again. But the Democratic Party was like, no, we have to do everything we can to stop Bernie Sanders from winning and actually doing progressive policy because our donors, you know, we got to stop the left. And look at what happened. Now we have the far right. Socialism or barbarism, right? Well, we've chosen barbarism. And there it is. And so there's more. Barb McQuaid writes, Trump's pardon of January 6th attackers corrupts the rule of law and rewrites history. These were not hostages. These were people who used brute force to commit vigilante violence. And unfortunately, I think there's as a result of this, there's going to be more vigilante violence. Because why not? Trump has already shown that if you're going to commit violence in my name with my interests in mind, then I'm not going to come after you. I'm going to reward you. It's a scary time to be in this country, especially if you're a minority. Donald Trump just released his black shirts from prison. And no one is safe. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.